Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be on this eye look. I will be discussing the Milk Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette. So this palette retails for $48 and I got mine as a Christmas gift, and it is currently sold out on the Milk Cosmetics website. Now, I am not sure if this is going to be permanent or if it is limited edition, but I did want to get this video out there for the people who do own it, or if you are maybe thinking of picking this up, because like it just says sold out. So to me, if they were taking it, I would think they would take it off completely off their site. And plus, I am not going to be decluttering items that are limited edition. I am going to be starting a playlist on my channel where I pull out limited edition and like try to get ready with me, just because I work hard for the makeup I purchase. I don't get PR or any makeup sent to me, so if I buy something, I am going to keep it, because especially if I love it. And if it's something you can't use, then I'm going to put it in a playlist for those people who can still use it and get ideas from it. And then there will be plenty of other videos that you guys can look at for my other eye palettes. So I did want to put that out there because that playlist is coming. So let's go ahead and get into the eye look, and then I will let you know my thoughts on the palette. Okay, so I already did this eye, and I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I did on this eye over here. So typically, I would take a big fluffy brush like this, which this is the Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush, and I would just dip into my transition shade, usually a light one, and then go for a darker one. But this palette it only has these two matte shades, and I want to try and just stick to this palette. So I'm going to take this color Space Queen, and I want it to go from darker to lighter, so I am just going to pick up the Sigma Domed Utility, just because it picks up more pigment, and I'm going to draw a line in my crease that has a lot of pigment, and then I'm going to buff it out. And that is how I am going to try and get the transition to go from a darker shade to a lighter shade. And this color is very, very pigmented, as you can tell. Now I'm going to take that E40 brush and I am going to start buffing that shade out while dipping back in and laying more color and then blending it out. I just wanted to do one dark shade because the fluffier one tends to lay down the shade more blown out. So I wanted to lay down like a strip of that. And because I am doing it this way, instead of just laying down a light color and then a color on top and blending, there is a lot more back and forth involved. I mean, I like to blend a lot anyways, just because I think it's more seamless and it's kind of therapeutic for me. So I've always been a blender. And if you see a lot of my tutorials, I speed up a lot because I try not to cut out too much, because I know people leave comments like, why is there so much like jump cuts and stuff? So I also want you guys to see everything. So I'm hoping that by doing this, where I do one eye first and then go in with the second eye, maybe that will cut down these videos a little bit. I'm also a little chatty. So as you can see, I'm just blending that out, and I'm lightly picking up more color and going right in the middle, and then just blending that out. And then with a more defined brush, this is the Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45 brush. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to be able to get the shade, fill in any spots, because I will say that these dark green shades tend to they don't blend as easy as browns and other neutral shades. I find that in a lot of palettes. This one's pretty good though, I will say that. I really love the Milk Cosmetics line and their formula. So I will say that this is blending out better than some of the other palettes I've tried. I believe it's the Morphe Dark Magic palette that has a shade like this that is harder to blend. Now, mind you, the price difference, the price point is very different within these two palettes. But just as an example. And then go into the corner. And I did lay tape down, not necessarily because I wanted a sharp edge, but whenever I work with dark colors like this, there usually is a little bit of fallout. There's not too much fallout. There is a little bit, but it got on the tape, which is why whenever I work with dark shades like this, I tend to put something here. I do stick this on my hand first to get my natural oils on there, so it's a little bit easier to come off. I wouldn't just stick it right on your eye. Okay, I'm gonna go into Blue Dream, which is this light minty color. And I don't want to cut my crease. That's a lot of work, so I am gonna take this color kind of high, because when I don't cut my crease, I have to kind of do that. And this is very, very creamy. I thought it was gonna be more of a metallic, but there's some glitter in there. Yeah, there's some glitter. So I'm wondering if this would like lay down really nicely with like a glitter glue. So that is the shade without the brush being wet. Okay, so let's try it with some MAC Fix Plus. Ooh, it sticks better. So I will say the intensity is the same, but it seems to definitely lay down better with some MAC Fix Plus. All right, I'm going to repeat that on this side. And there is a little bit more of fallout with this, but again, this is like a glittery metallic shade. A lot of people had problems with this palette, and I think their Gemini palette, like getting like puffy and coming out of the pan. I didn't have that issue. Wonder if that was like a specific batch that went out, because I know I heard that a lot, but mine's didn't do that. I don't know if you can tell, but mine doesn't puff. And now I'm gonna go into Sweet Tooth and put that more in the center. I'm gonna take this small shader brush by Lamora. I'm gonna lay that in this, in the center. So this shade is definitely intense. You do not need MAC Fix Plus, but we're gonna go ahead and try it just to see if it, like, you know, intensifies it. This is pretty intense on its own. Oh yes, so if you put MAC Fix Plus, this is like, it gets like really, really wet looking. So if that's what you're going for, wow. It's definitely not like a low-key palette. I'm gonna go back into Blue Dream, that's that lighter green shade, just because I want a more gradient effect. I do feel like those two shades are similar. They just have like different finishes. Again, this is more like a glittery metallic, and then the other one's more of a foiled. So Blue Dream is more like a glittery metallic, and these are very creamy. And then Sweet Tooth is more of a foiled. Now I'm going to go back into Space Queen, and I want to kind of blend those shades together so there isn't a harsh line. And because I got a little bit of a bald spot right there. I also want to take down some of that glitter that transferred. That was very easy for it being dark shades. That was extremely easy. Okay, so that is the eye look. And I call this eye look mint chocolate chip. What do you think? So I'm doing looks for Valentine's Day, and you know, typically everyone does like reds and, you know, pinks and stuff like that, which I'm doing. My first look is like a rusty red right here. So I wanted to do like, you know, something different for Valentine's Day. Okay, so I am going to put on foundation and finish my face, and then I will hop back on here and let you know my thoughts on the palette. Okay, so I went ahead and put foundation. I did mascara because I did not want to put on falsies. I'm trying to do that less. But I did tight line because I'm also trying not to always do a wing, because I do a lot of that for this, and that's just not me being honest with myself or with you guys. I love beautiful, bold eye looks. But the only time I ever do a falsie is like when I'm going to go out. So I want to keep it real. So I'm rambling. Let me just put on. Do I want this? No. I want more of a nude. So this is a mix that I just created right now. I put Thistle, Bite Beauty, the color Thistle, which is like a cool color, but it was a little too cool. Then I use Revolution Lip Geek and Never Be a Millionaire, because I'll never be a millionaire. Yeah. Pretty much. I layered that on top, and it's not too warm, which is what I did not want with this look, but it's also not too cool. So it's a little bit more on the neutral side, which is what I wanted. Sorry if you hear my dogs. They are barking at absolutely nothing. So with a more precise pencil brush, this is just an Avon brush that I have. I only have like two really little pencil brushes, and both are affordable. This one's Avon, and then my other one is ColourPop. Now I'm only going to be taking it a little past the center of my eye, because some of the green got in there and I kind of like it, so I'm just going to intensify that in a minute. And I'm getting this really close to my waterline because this color is so intense. And then I'll blend it a little bit out in a second. So same thing. Okay. And then I am going to take the shader brush. I'm going to go into Blue Dream. And I'm just popping that along the bottom of like my inner corner. And I'm going to test something out. Might not work, but just because I want to see how that works as a highlight. Ooh, that is actually really nice as a highlight. You gotta blend it a little bit. Knock some of that glitter off. Buff it in. Actually really pretty. This shade Blue Dream is more sheared out when you put it on. So that's why I thought that might blend out nicely as a highlighter. And oh, that looks half bad. I mean, it's definitely not a daytime highlight, but going out, think it might work. So, well, I think that looks really pretty actually. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put some of that up here, right underneath the brow bone. Ooh, yeah. I'm liking that. I don't know about you guys, but that is really nice. This is the Benefits Roller Lash. This was just like a freebie with points from Sephora. I really like this one for the lower lashes. I used the Lancome Monsieur Big on top. Gonna do my hoops. Let me zoom you guys out. You don't need to be that close to me. So that is the finished look. So the palette. I love Milk Cosmetics. I know some people prefer the stacks. I honestly don't see the difference. The Gemini palette is one of my all-time favorite palettes. I really enjoy this one. I love greens. I like dark brown, sultry colors. That's just my jam. I personally do not smoke. That doesn't bother me. I know plenty of people who do. So I know some people were bothered by that, but there is something for everyone. So I am not upset that they came out with something like this. I enjoy wine. There was a wine palette that came out. I would totally be on board for that. So I was not upset that Melt came out with this palette. This palette is stunning. I've used it twice. This is my second time using it. My first time dipping into the matte. I enjoy the Melt Cosmetics formula for the mattes. This darker shade, this Space Queen shade, I will say, like most dark green shades, I did have a little tiny bit of patchiness, not as much as I have in some of my other. That is a very hard shade to have like a smooth blend with. So I don't mind working a shade out a little bit, especially when it's a difficult color like that. So I will say, for it being a difficult color, it's one of my better ones in my collection. I mentioned the Morphe one that I have in the Dark Magic, but again, that is a more inexpensive palette, so you have to work that one. I didn't have to work this one a lot, but I want to be honest, and there was a little bit of like baldness, but I just kept working it and it blended out. So I am not mad about that. The metallics, I have used all of these metallics already because again, this is the second time that I've used this palette. So I will say so far this half worked very well. These two are the same. They're like a more foiled, and then this one is, to me, a more glittery shade. So I will probably play with this one with maybe a glitter glue. But other than that, I'm not mad at this palette. I am really happy that it is in my collection, and it will probably stay in my collection. So that will do it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like me and haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when I upload. And until next time, guys, bye.